I've been living in my van for the past 2 years now. Long construction hours. I only work in bigger cities. Because of being in the bigger cities, my commutes are a lot longer. The job sites are always changing. The only possible way for me to have a short commute is to live in a van. So now that my commutes are a lot shorter, I can spend more time in the gym working on my physique. I can get adequate rest. I got plenty of time to bulk up now. However, I've been running into a lot of electrical problems in my van lately, and I've been having to babysit my van almost every single day because of these problems. I've been able to temporarily fix the issue just to get me by for 1 or 2 nights. These temporary fixes are only leading to temporary solutions, it seems like. So, it's time for me to regress back on this van build because I got some fixing to do. I gotta actually figure out what's going wrong so I don't need to continuously babysit my van. I'm supposed to be bulking, not scratching my head, thinking about what's wrong with this electrical problem. I've been building mainly the carpentry portion of my van, like the cabinets and stuff, the ceilings, but primarily I've installed a lot of cabinets lately. Usually when cabinets are being built in the van, that means that the van build is coming to a close, because a lot of these cabinets are really bringing the van to life. I only got like 1 more big cabinet left, and then I can start putting panels around my doors and start doing mini soffits. So the van build is almost done. I actually feel really comfortable in here, and the van seems like it's more of a completed project right now than it is an uncompleted project. For a while I was living in my van when it was not close to being completed, and it looked like I was just living in a homeless man's shack, and it kind of sucked. Now that I got cabinets, now that I have storage and I can be organized in here, I'm in a pretty good spot right now. I've been living way more comfortably than I was in the past. My bed used to just be right on the floor, like right here in this little corridor. But right now, a more important project has just gotten in the way. Before I build my last cabinet in my van, I want to figure out all of my electrical issues, because that last cabinet covers a lot of my wiring in my van. If I build that cabinet, then I need to get to all those wires, then that's going to be a hassle having to take a cabinet down just to fix some wiring. So it'd make the most sense for me to hold off on that cabinet and get all these electrical issues figured out. It's an off-grid system. I got solar panels, a backup generator, and then I have a Shore plug-in connection where I can plug into like a campground, or I can plug it into my backup generator. It powers a bunch of batteries all wired into parallel to make one big battery called a battery bank. That battery bank is powering my whole van right now. That battery bank is the reason why I can do this. It's the reason why I can turn water on. But these are all the electrical issues that I'm going through right now that need to get fixed before I continue building this van. I don't want to finish this whole van and have these electrical problems. My biggest, most important electrical fix that I need to do like today is an inconsistent amperage input. I can't even live in my van with this problem. Every time I plug in my Shore connection into my van, the amps go up and then they go down, and then they go up and they go down. And then letting it sit like that where it's just going up and down, up and down, up and down, it's just evening it out to 0, which sounds kind of good. It sounds like I have unlimited power until I use my fridge, and then it takes up more power that's coming in. Then that 0 slowly goes down and down and down while it's still going up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Then it starts to go even lower. So up, down, lower, up, lower, up, lower, up, lower. And the next thing you know, I'll just be completely out of power. So that needs to get fixed ASAP. But there's other issues I'm having too besides that. Before the inconsistent amperage input was going on, I was getting amperage hunting, which is when I connect through with my Shore cord, either from my generator or from a campground, and it starts putting amps into my batteries. But then all of a sudden it gets too high, and then it just shuts off completely. And then I have to lower the amount of amps that are going into my battery, but I shouldn't have to lower my amps going into my battery. It should be at 30 amps. Why do I gotta lower it down to 15 amps? Now my whole van life situation, I'm not playing with a full deck of cards, because I'm not even able to put in the amount of amps I wanted to put into my battery bank. I plan to be able to live off of 30 amps plugged in. I can't live off of 15 amps going in. The next one is inconsistent solar charging. My solar panels need to be manually turned off just for them to shut off like 3 hours later. So the solar is getting power from the sun, so I don't necessarily need to be babysitting my van when it's getting from solar, but then all of a sudden it just shuts off randomly. And it's getting to the point now where it shuts off automatically even longer, despite the switch still being on. And if my battery bank gets too low, I have a safety switch on my inverter that'll shut my fridge off before it shuts off the entire power. And my fridge is almost like the heart of my van, because I'm living in this van so I can bodybuild and I need to have food. So the fridge, it sucks that the fridge is the first thing that shuts off. And it's shutting off because the solar isn't even consistent. And then another issue that I'm having is I think that my battery bank has been degraded. Like how I was just saying about my inverter. Hitting that safety switch on it, that degrades the battery. It's got that safety feature for a reason, because the batteries are getting too low. If you consistently let the batteries get low like that, then the batteries are going to degrade over time. And I'm living in this thing full time, whereas these batteries are usually meant for like a 1 week trip. These batteries are running 24/7 though, and they're going through all sorts of weather conditions, and they've been through very cold nights and they've been through very hot days. When I'm at work, I don't use AC, so they've been getting extremely high temperatures, and then sometimes my fuel will run out of my heater during the winter time, and then the van will freeze over overnight. So the batteries will get exposed to that cold temperature too, on top of discharging at a low rate. So that's something that needs to get fixed too. And then another issue that I'm having is a percentage drift. I have an app on my phone that tells me the percentage of my battery bank, but the battery percentage keeps drifting, and it'll say that my battery bank is at like 87%, when in reality, my battery bank just went down to like 11 volts, and then that gets dangerously low, and then my fridge will shut off. When I first got everything set up and wired, that safety feature would shut off at about 50%, and now it's shutting off at around 87. Sometimes it'll be like 97%. And it'll still do that safety switch on my inverter. So that's not right. There's a really bad percentage drift, and it's hard for me to just look at the volts on my battery bank and know what percentage I'm at, because it'll sit at 13 volts for a while, it'll sit at 12 volts for a while, but then once it starts getting onto like the low 12 volts, it'll just fly down. Like once it hits like 11, it can go from like 11.9 to like 10.1 in like 30 minutes. I don't know how to read these batteries very good just from looking at the voltage itself. I need to have a built-in percentage indicator that's actually accurate. And then my last problem all ties into all the issues I'm already having, and that's electrical babysitting. What's gonna scare me when I get all these completed is I'm still gonna have to do babysitting on my electrical system every single day. I'm still worried about that, so I'm probably gonna have to run through, and I'm probably gonna have to review my electrical system that I have going on in my van, and I'm just gonna have to triple check and make sure that everything is right and make some changes if needed. So I got lots of electrical issues that need to get covered. I was doing my cabinets in a series. I was doing phase 1, 2, and then 3, which is behind the camera. That was like my first series in the van build, or that was my series in the van build. But now we're starting a new series, and it's gonna be fixing all of my electrical issues. The first thing that needs to get fixed is the inconsistent amperage input. So I am now able to plug my van in at 11 amps and let it charge without any inconsistent amperage input. But 11 amps going into a 600 amp hour battery bank, it's possible to manage that, but it's gonna be expensive because I'm gonna need campgrounds because my solar's not really working right now. It would take days for me to charge my van all the way up to 600 amp hours off of only 11 amps. And I'm not gonna waste time driving to other people's houses to charge my van to save money on campgrounds. So I'm gonna dog it out. I'm gonna pay a little bit extra for an extra day at the campground to get this figured out. Alright, so I'm at a campground right now. The Huge. This is basically my home. Every campground has a shore connection. You see when I lift this up, there's a massive spider right there. But I got two things hooked up right now. I got my van hooked up, and then just a little battery. And then I got the cord hooked up to my camper van, obviously. It says that it's getting power here. But the main problem here is I go to my phone and I'm supposed to be getting amps. I'm supposed to be getting 30 amps. That's what I have it set to. But it's just chilling at negative. Now it's at 0. Now it's almost, oh, it's at 1. Oh, it's back down. It's back down to the negatives. Oh, it's going back up. It's back to Okay. So that number is supposed to just say 30, and it's supposed to stay at 30, but it's not. Well, I can't really show it. I would use my solar panels, but I'm actually having an issue with them right now. I'll have it switched over to on, but there will be no power coming through at all. And despite the sun being out, I'm not getting any solar. So I don't know. These are a little wobbly, I don't know. So I might turn everything off, and I might just tighten all of my bolts down just to make sure that we're good. But I don't think that's gonna work. I think everything is tight. I don't know what's going on. I do have breakers and fuses that I'm gonna check. And then I have some tools on me, but I don't know if I have enough tools to fix my issue out here. So I'm gonna use these tools, everything I can, to get this figured out in this campground before I try to get my money back. Everything looks good. For some reason my battery monitor says 13.18 volts when I literally just tried to turn it on, and my inverter said that it's below 12, and it wouldn't even let my fridge run. So that doesn't make any sense. Over here I got I got a 300 amp breaker, and it hasn't tripped. So I'm gonna shut the master power off, make sure everything is shut off, and then I can use the tools that I got to just try to tighten everything, I guess. So there was one negative connection that felt a little bit loose, but I really don't think that's gonna fix anything, honestly. That's really it. I mean, I just checked my battery bank off camera. I got terminal fuses on them, and all the terminal fuses weren't burned. So I mean, maybe it's my lucky day, and maybe that'll work. We'll try it out. So here's my inverter. I'm powering it on right now. I'm gonna go to the settings on it, and it's already at 10 amps right now. So I'm gonna plug my van in right now that I just tightened everything, and we're gonna see if that fixed anything. Okay, so it's going up. We're at 6. Oh, look at that. We're at 11 amps right now. Okay, that's a good sign. That's actually a really good sign. That might have been it. It might have just been a loose connection. So you see here, we're at 11.41 amps. That's a good number, but I'm gonna raise it up a little bit higher and see what happens. This is when everything goes to shit, is when I'm not grateful for what I got, and then I try to push it. But we'll see. We'll see what 20 amps does. I'm gonna shut this down. I unplugged my van and I shut my inverter off to completely reset the system. All right, our amps are going up, slowly but surely. The amps are going up. We're at 50, we're at 20. It just stopped at 21. All right. So this is a really good sign right now. We're just gonna let this sit. We're gonna give it 30 minutes and we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see if this drops again or not. Okay, so I didn't get it on film, but luckily my screen is recording, and you can see that I just went through an amperage hunt, which is when the amps get too high and a safety feature gets shut down on the inverter. But 30 amps is the limit on this inverter, so why is 16 amps causing it to amperage? I don't know. All right, we're gonna plug it in. I just lowered the amps on it down to 10, so I'm gonna at least see if I can get some power in it. So we're just gonna do that. All right, let's see if it's gonna hunt. So the amps are slowly going up. Let's see if we can like sit at 8. That'd be nice, or 11. So we're gonna let that sit for a while. Usually it takes a minute, so we're just gonna sit here for another minute and see. Okay, so it looks like it can sit at 11, so we're just gonna keep it at 11 for now, and we're just not gonna do anything about it for now. So now that we're sitting at 11 amps right now, I can definitely say this is gonna be some complex troubleshooting that is gonna be probably saved for another video. So we got the one issue figured out, but now we have something bigger to chew on. So I got input, but now I'm dealing with the amperage hunting problem that happens randomly. Luckily we're good right now. And then I got my solar panel problem too, which are two very important issues, and it doesn't really matter which one I tackle first. I think that the solar panel one is gonna be a bigger issue than the amperage hunting problem, so I'm probably gonna tackle that first. So if I can fix my solar problem, it's gonna help me out with my amperage problem. It's still summer, so I can figure all these electrical problems out. It's gonna be harder to figure all this out during the wintertime. I feel like the solar panel issue is gonna be the biggest headache of all this, so we're gonna tackle that first, for sure. But the solar panel issue is gonna be saved for another video. Thank you so much for watching. My channel is doing pretty good lately. It looks like you guys like watching these kinds of videos, so I'll keep it up. If you're thinking about doing van life, or you've always been fascinated by it, and you're interested in the brutal reality of living in a van full-time every single day, 24/7, make sure you subscribe, like the video, and comment suggestions on what I should post. Thanks so much for watching.